Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you liked it, be sure to check out our previous episodes on our website.
Welcome, everyone, back to another episode of
Also, you can check them out on Spotify, Anchor, Google, or Apple Podcasts.
I'm still Lindy.
While you're there, hit the
As
follow and
always.
subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all of our latest episodes. Also, you can follow us on all of the socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at Turn of the Millennials Pod, and like us on Facebook to leave a comment and a review. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you next episode.
Mode and everything. And so there's those times where you were sick from school and you'd watch the soaps in the afternoon, or when just in general, when you were coming home from school and you having your snack and there was all of those like talk shows and everything. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. This plethora of soap operas over the years. Drama. But
Good old
first,
soap operas.
good old soap operas. On that soapbox that you wrote in on.
Oh man, I have so many good memories of like the soaps that me and my mom used to watch together.
And you and me have memories of
Passions.
but we will get into that momentarily. First, it is time for our
Millennial moment.
All right. So, what is your millennial moment for this week, Lindy?
So as you all know, well, maybe not you all know, but my stepson turned 16 this week. I get a text message yesterday from him with a picture of his G1 license.
Well, at 16, you know what was going to happen, but it is a scary feeling.
And then on top of that, fucking, you know the girl that I told you about, the song Waterfalls, didn't know the rap was in it. She fucking made fun of me for my age all fucking week. Like it was just little snides. Like yesterday she was telling me about how her friends make fun of her for her car. She drives a Buick. And I was like, because I asked her, I was like, well, what do you drive? She goes, oh, I drive a whatever, I can't remember what year it was, something Buick. And I was like, oh, I love Buicks. And she goes, yeah, you would, you're old. And I'm just like, fuck off.
A Buick is not necessarily fully old. It's just a luxurious car. And unfortunately, older people usually can only afford luxurious cars. But yeah, I agree. It is an old person car.
It's like
Kevin has one.
Like it's not the same. Like my grandma had a Caddy, but like,
oh, that's a kind of an older person
like
car
I
too,
loved it. I wish I could have a fucking Caddy. Like I was this close to having one, and then the dealership was all like, no, it's as is, and I'm not going to tell you what's wrong with it to get it safety. Like, fuck you. So
oh, you bastard.
Yep.
Bastards.
But yeah, no, that's my moment. That was, he sent me his picture of his G1 license. And when we have them next weekend, Aaron's going to be taking him out to drive. And I don't know. I'm worried about my new 300 that I have.
So
speaking of old cars,
so
Steph's opinion.
Whatever.
So what's yours?
My millennial moment this week was I was going back and watching some of the old Chris Rock specials. So I went back and watched Never Scared, which was from 2004, and he's 39 years old in that one.
That's my age right now.
2004.
Oh my god.
He was 39. 39.
Oh my god. So now how old is he? I can't do that math right now.
2004. So that's add 20 years to 39. So I think
minus 2.
Yeah.
So 57.
Almost 60.
Chris
59?
Rock is 57.
39 to 59.
So
20 years.
It's like Adam Sandler and Kevin James. Like, are they all that same age?
No, they might be old, younger, older. Hold on. I'm just doing a quick Google search here. Yeah, 1965 he was born, Chris Rock. He is 57.
Wow.
Adam Sandler was born in 1966, so he's 55. Yeah, so they're all hitting almost 60s.
Oh my god.
That's not the millennial moment though. That was not my millennial moment.
But that's still one on its own.
I know, and so it gets better.
Oh my god.
Chris says he feels bad for all the men. So again, this is 2004, and he says he feels bad for all the men who have to find women in this generation because they listen to Get Low by Little John with My Balls Skeet Skeet, My Balls Skeet Skeet. And I was a part of that generation. I was at the bar in 2004 trying to pick up a man, I guess, or whatever. So us, our generation, that he's talking about our generation, basically trying to find a girl up in the club to find in love
while we're dancing to this song.
My balls, a ski.
The sweat drip from my balls. It's hilarious that you bring this up because this came up at work yesterday with Lena, the 22-year-old.
And just that whole situation. Like I said, he's 50, he's almost approaching 60. I'm not like 04 is almost 20 years ago. Like it was just the whole thing was just and it was a very millennial moment that I had. I was like literally like Kevin. I was like, I'm crying right now. I can't handle this.
I don't want to be old.
And I was dying laughing too at the same time because I was like, that was me. I was awful. 19 in the bars in 2004. So like
21. That was the year I quit drinking.
It was
for like 8 years.
Yeah.
But still, like that doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but it was like it was like 18 years ago. It was.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't feel like it was almost 20 years ago. Like to me, that still feels like yesterday. And I'm watching some of these old documentaries of like Woodstock and that, and they're showing the old footage, and I was like, no, that's not old footage. That is still like, oh my god,
23 years old stuff.
I know, but because that was a part of my life, like it doesn't feel like that old. And because when you're watching it, they're playing the footage from the 70s, and I remember being in the 90s to 69.
That was so long ago, and now that you're experiencing that distance of an event for yourself,
just a little bit. It hurts. So
now
much.
that you've brought it up, what are your feelings on the matter? Are you glad you didn't go, or do you wish you were there?
I am glad I didn't go because obviously I wouldn't have had the money to afford any fucking water. And that was before I turned, like I was a little ruffian back then, but that was before I was like super ruffian punk rock kid. So I might have been able to.
And you were 14.
And I was 14. Exactly. So going by myself, no. And there's no way my parents would have handled that. So I'm kind of glad we didn't go.
I was supposed to go. I had my money saved up. I had people to go with. Yeah. I had people to go with. We had a ride and like everything and everything's whatever. And my parents wouldn't let me go. And watching that documentary, I'm kind of split. Like I'm like seeing what they did and what happened, like the whole like jumping around in the fucking raw sewage and getting that mouth disease thing from drinking contaminated drinking water, and then from like blowing up 12 transport trucks. A part of me kind of wishes I was there to just witness this history happening right before my eyes.
Yeah.
But I think like a smidgen bigger part of me is glad I didn't go because I probably would have ended up dead. Because I was 16 at the time. I was very naive, very green.
Not super necessarily.
And I probably would have died from either alcohol poisoning or I would have been like, sure, let's try LSD for the first time in OD.
I know. I was like, we weren't very good when it came to drinking water for things. So
like I had smoked pot a few times by the time I was 16.
Yeah.
And I smoked cigarettes, not a big deal. And I started drinking when I was probably like 13 too. So like, but I still at that time hadn't had my butterscotch rum experience or butterscotch schnapps experience. So I still like did not know my limit. So I probably would have died from alcohol poisoning.
Yeah. That was
or drugs.
Right.
So or I don't know, or like I would have been like assaulted or something and killed while like fighting back or something like that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have been one of those people like I wouldn't have gone into the mosh pit or anything like that. Like that looked very rough. Like the one at Snow Jam was fun. It was kind of rough, but it was fun. But that one just looked fucking violent. Wow.
Well, a bunch of boys and that kind of music, you know, it was a very male.
Were great.
Oh, yes. But no, just during that time, it was a very, like they keep kind of saying like that era, that turn of the millennium era, 99, 2000, 2001 was still very male dominated, ragey sort of kind of music.
Yeah. So more and more women were getting into that music too. It was kind of more considered like more guys liked it.
Yeah. The new metal is what it was classed.
A lot of women at the
absolutely
lots of women. So
but when you have a lot of new metal, that's it's just it's a lot of rage and testosterone when fronted by a lot of men. You know who I thought was
out of place in the lineup?
Sheryl Crow or
Jewel. Like maybe a little bit Sheryl Crow.
Two or three women on the whole roster all weekend too.
I think it was only two. I think it was just those two.
Oh, I thought there might have been, but yeah, it was very, very limited. But we are not talking about Woodstock.
Yeah, no, sorry.
So maybe another episode. So on this week's, we're going back. So we're going back to school. We're going back to school, and those days off, or those running home and having your afternoon snack and getting all of your energy out from school and watching some TV talk shows and stuff.
For me, I'd be grabbing a snack, a can of Pepsi, and plopping my ass down in front of the TV downstairs until bedtime.
I believe I remember Lindsay.
Well, until dinner, I guess.
Sandwich with a can of pop.
Yes, that too.
That's usually what.
And then I would go upstairs and grab like
I remember was a sandwich and a can
every
of pop.
Day after work. Yeah, or
every day.
School. Yep.
Oh, that was fun.
I could live off of sandwiches the rest of my life. But we're not talking about sandwiches.
We're not talking about sandwiches today, but it is part of the whole plethora of when we came home. We had our afternoon snack and we plopped our asses in front of that TV and watched a whole crap ton of afternoon
trashy talk shows.
I guess, that's really the only way you can kind of call them, is trashy talk shows. Some of them weren't trashy. Some of them were talk shows because we did have
some of them were pretty good.
Some are pretty good. The queen, we'll talk about the main queen who was like the afternoon talk show forever, Oprah. Obviously, the woman was on forever. She started 1986 and went to 2011. She was one of the longest running talk shows. She had Oprah's favorite things, which everybody loved every year.
You get a car. Everybody gets a car. But you have to pay the tax on it.
Hey, that's still better than paying the full up price of the car anyways. So I'll take it. She won 9 outstanding talk show Emmys as well for her show. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the times poor Oprah did get criticized over the years for her weight gain and weight loss.
Oh my God. Yes. It was
so
leave
fucking
the poor
shallow.
Woman alone.
We were so shallow back then. We weren't body healthy. We weren't pro this. The woman was, who cares what she was doing? She was amazing. She had a great talk show. So what? She gained a few pounds. She still looked amazing. She still looked good.
But she owned it, and she handled the criticism with class, like the classy lady she is.
She always was classy. She never really had too much, there was not much controversy around.
You didn't really feel an ego on her.
No.
She was very charitable.
And she was also, for those, I guess, independent ladies out there, she was always kind of the unmarried.
She chose not to get married.
Woman. She was with Stedman forever.
She's been with him forever, yeah.
But they just chose to never get married. It was just kind of like Gene Simmons and Shannon Tweed. They were happily unmarried forever until they eventually got married.
Yeah.
But yeah, she kind of showed women that you can lead a different life in that time, because it was the 80s. Things were, you get married, you go to college, you get married, you find your husband, you have your children.
The societal norms that are pushed upon us.
And she pushed against them. For one, being Oprah. A woman newscaster, and a Black woman newscaster at that as well. She had always pushed the boundaries for everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we loved her.
Something I watched with my mom all the time was Oprah.
And Oprah also spawned 2 sort of other shows.
Phil.
Dr. Phil. Yes, Dr. Phil. The big one, And then she also was the production for Dr. Oz.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. So have
you seen the signs for his Senate run?
Dr. Oz?
Yeah.
No.
He's running for Senate. You haven't?
No.
Someone ordered 3 signs because it says vote Oz for Senate or whatever. So someone ordered 3 of them and put them in a matter where it says no on Oz. Because he's been very scandalous lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm not really sure what about, but I know it's something bad. I haven't really looked into it. Probably should have.
So then I guess that would make sense as to why his show ended in 2022. It ran from 2009 to 2022. It was produced by Harpo Productions, Oprah backwards, for those who didn't realize that was her production company.
Right.
I love it.
Right.
And he had featured mostly segments on health, wellness, medical information, sometimes true crime. He also received 9 Daytime Emmy Awards as well. And then Dr. Phil, he came around in 2002, and he is still powering through, still going. Except he was originally seen on Oprah, and then he got his own show branched off in 2002. And then we all know him kind of for the Cash Me Outside, How About That Girl for forever.
Bad Baby.
Bad Bobby or whatever it is, or
it's Bad Baby.
Bad Baby.
Yeah,
I know.
Like,
I know she still pops up on Kevin's like feeds every so often.
I mean,
and
good for her for monetizing what she has and building her brand. And I just read an article the other day. I didn't read the article. I read the headline or whatever, but that there was some sort of like charitable donation that she like donated a shit ton of money to, or whatever. Like, she's doing good, but I'm just the
way she got
the way it happened, and like her attitude and behavior on Dr. Phil was just atrocious.
Which I get it. You were a little 13-year-old girl who had attitude. We all had kind of an attitude when we're going
Cash Me Outside. That's one of the things I'm mad at her the most about was the Cash Me Outside hashtag or whatever that thing like became popular. I'm like,
yeah,
it opened a door to so much awful slang. And way to go, Bad Baby. I blame you for that. But congratulations on your success.
Right? Yeah, I feel like I feel like in general our society has just gotten lazy with what our catchphrases are.
Speaking of Dr. Phil,
yes.
Does anybody remember the Dr. Phil family? With Alexandra, who was pregnant at 15.
No.
And her sister Catherine. There were several episodes over a few seasons about this family. I tried to look up an update on them, and oh my God, their life's like imploded.
Really?
Like, yeah. I'm just like, oh my God, that's actually what it was awful. Like, look it up. Like if for the listeners out there who remember what I'm talking about, the Dr. Phil family, like just look up the update. It's what you probably expected to happen.
So it was just a family that kept coming on his show every so
because they were just so dysfunctional and like, yeah, I can't really even explain it.
He has been nominated for a daytime every year ever since 2004, but I don't think he's ever won.
I mean, I think he started out with good intentions.
Yeah.
With being on the Oprah show, but then it was like every Tuesdays I'd always watch it with my mom. Yeah. And he like once he got to like his own show, it was good for the first few seasons, and then you got to see like everything was going to his head. Like he started to get more condescending and like all of this. I'm not saying he didn't help people. I'm sure he did.
Right.
Which is
but
great.
it became more talk show versus.
I mean, they get the stereotype of him somewhere.
Well, and then they also find a formula that works for them. And then they're like, oh, well, this is what's going to make us money. So they keep cashing in on those formulas. And then people are like, well, no, I want to see something different. I'm sick. Like, yes, at first these were cool to see, but we liked the variety. It's like
kind of like how Jerry Springer got to be super trashy. It started out as a legitimate talk show.
Yeah.
And then it kept getting wilder and wilder because that's what the audience wanted.
Jerry, they liked the fights. They liked
the drama. And then it eventually became all actors and they would hire protagonists to sit in the audience and like rile them up and shit. Like it
on IMDb, it is listed like when they say Jerry Springer is an American scripted tabloid talk show. That was specific. I wrote it down on our notes. That's specifically how they described it.
Yeah.
Scripted tabloid talk show.
Yep.
And that's exactly how it kind of became. At first it wasn't as bad, but that's basically how it became. Was a drama tabloid talk show. What headline can we throw at people to make have more drama or be more scandalous or be more of this? And then sometimes there's always the women taking off their tops as well. That was a big thing that happened a lot. And so Jerry Springer ran
fights and like the most outrageous fucking topics.
Right. So funny thing, Jerry Springer ran from 91 to 2018, 28 seasons, 4,000 episodes, and then later spawned the Steve Wilkos show, which was his bodyguard on the original show.
Yeah. Steven. Or it was like Steve.
Yeah. So like 28 seasons, guys. Like people were watching it. People still liked it. And I know
people still soak that shit up.
And I know it's going towards the most common denominator of people per se, but I'm sure there's probably people who were like us that probably still enjoyed watching it that weren't your common denominator. Some people like it just for mindless
TV. Yeah,
exactly.
Forget about your own problems for the day.
Right.
For the hour.
Maybe it makes you feel better about yourself, I guess.
Because you're just like, at least I'm not as fucked up as that.
Right. Although you started to know that it was fake. So obviously
it eventually came out that yes, it was in fact scripted and those were actors and all that shit. Right. So
Well, I guess the next reigning queen who just went out this year would be Ellen. She would be the next talk show.
You know, I'm super disappointed with how that went. I'm very disappointed in her, I guess.
Kind of. I feel like the pandemic also for the last 2 years was not helpful as well. But yes, I agree. Kind of the last couple of years it was a little phoning it in.
You've been hearing teeny tiny things about this though well before the pandemic.
That's true. Like people were unhappy.
Like you would have a person on her staff here or there say something, but it would always be like
that one person was
just it's just that one person, or like that's their opinion, and like they have a beef with her or something like that. Like it's nothing serious. That's not how she is with everybody. And like everyone has a bad day or something like that, right? But now you've come to find out that it's every fucking day. And like, there's even that tweet she made a couple of years ago where she was practically proud of the fact that she made one of her staff members cry.
Yeah.
Like I saw it on like my Facebook the other day.
So on the good side first, we'll say that she had 171 daytime Emmy nominations.
No, she was great up until all that shit came out.
Yeah. Like winning 61. She did her 12 days of giveaways, the heads up game. She was all about the dancing on her show. There was also the sections where she'd showcase like non-celebrities for good things that they did. And shout out to us, KW Optimist Lions Club blow up lion. Mm-hmm. It was featured on there because from the back it looks like a penis.
Yep, that was ours.
That's a flow. So basically every year in Canada on Thanksgiving Day, on Thanksgiving, KW, as part of our Oktoberfest Thanksgiving, we have a parade on Thanksgiving. And one of our
Thanksgiving one more time.
Thanksgiving. I know, right? I don't know. I said it so many times. But KW has the parade, and the Optimist Club has, for some reason, it's a blow up lion. I'm not sure why. Mm-hmm. It's just been in the parade for
the Lions Club, isn't it? Was it donated by the Lions Club?
I think it is donated by the Lions Club, but it's you figure they would, like, it's been like for 20-30 years. I feel like they would have maybe updated or something, by now, but it still works. And from the front, it looks like a lion, but from the back, the way that the painting and the shading and stuff looks, it straight up looks like a penis.
Yep.
So someone sent it in and it made it onto the show. So yay for KW. Woohoo.
Thanks for the shout out, Ellen.
Thanks for the shout out. But
they even invited her to be the parade marshal. The parade marshal for that year, but she declined, I believe.
Declined or couldn't make it or something. Yeah. We tried.
Oh well. In hindsight, that's cool.
But yes, so this 2022 was the last year for Ellen. So she has officially come off of the air.
But I gotta say, like, I do remember, like, I watched her all the time.
You did. I remember.
She had such interesting, like, guests on her show. Mm-hmm. Like, all of, like, my favorite celebrities and stuff. There was always one of my favorite celebrities was one of her 3 guests, like, every fucking day. So I basically watched it every day.
Yeah.
And, like, used to be really good. And, like, at Twitch from So You Think You Could Dance was on it. Like,
yeah.
He's also in some of the Step Up movies, but yeah, she was, like I said, during her prime, she was good. But I even found, like, I was watching it the last few years, and it kind of felt, you could feel that her heart wasn't in it anymore. She is just phoning it in, just doing it either for the paycheck or because she was contractually renewed or whatever. Yeah.
Who knows? But you could just tell
obligated.
You could tell she should have.
Before it was gone.
Yeah, she should have gone a few years ago, but whatever. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Could have been, right?
Yeah. Coulda, shoulda, wouldas. So many coulda, shoulda, wouldas. So another one that I actually really liked, it was on from 96 to 2002, was the Rosie O'Donnell show.
I loved this show.
I
really did like this show. Even after Rosie left and it became Caroline Ray's show.
Oh, yes. Yep.
I liked this show. Like, Rosie was funny.
She was genuine. She was, like, nice. She just seemed like your normal kind of fun human being to just kind of be around. And she was a little kiddish at times, like the koosh ball launcher and stuff, but maybe
whatever.
That's what made it fun. That was what for us as kids, like younger kids, that was fucking great. That's what made the show awesome.
I tuned in all the time because like she would have people on, like she had Hanson and Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and Britney and Christina. She had all of my favorite celebrities on too, but the majority of them were on her show. Yeah. And like, her segments were funny.
Yes, like, the kids are punny.
Yeah.
And then she had the Christmas albums where she did duets with like Britney Spears and NSYNC and stuff like that. A bunch of artists said the songs.
And her obsession with Tom Cruise.
Yes, the like, Tom Cruise obsession.
I just funny because I am one that really kind of can't stand Tom Cruise.
Me neither. I'm not
like I'll watch his movies. Like I'm not like I'll watch his movies because
definitely after the Katie Holmes thing, I was like, all right. From then on, I just out with him.
For those of you who don't know, we're referring to Tom Cruise jumping on the couch, expressing his love for Katie Holmes on the Oprah Winfrey Show.
And then from there, the crazy Scientology he tried to get her
that
in
shit
and
came
like
out.
That. So from just like from that point on,
he hasn't seen his daughter since she was like 6.
Yeah.
So and she's like I think 16 this year. Something like that.
But then poor Nicole hasn't seen her children because they're all into Scientology as well now. So it's just it's so sad shit. And anyways, Scientology, stay away, people. But that's not what we're talking about.
We should make a drinking game every time we get off topic. Take a drink. Just so sloshed.
Maybe we should start putting these things down.
So should.
Every time I say a word like 7 times in a sentence. Thanksgiving.
Every time I lose my train of thought.
Right?
Yep.
All right.
That happened in the last episode.
I think you need to do this, Lindy. We need to go back and you need to figure out all of the things that we do to make a good drinking game. This is what your task is. Okay. To come, friends, drinking game. The Millennials drinking game.
Yes.
I guess next on our list, actually it's another kind of one that is another long withstanding, The View.
Oh yeah, that one's been on for a very long time.
Baba Walters created this one. So it went from, sorry, we love you, Barbara. We're just not making fun of you.
I stopped watching it after the first of these ladies left.
Yeah, so it is started in 97 and
I could not stand Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
Oh my gosh,
couldn't fucking stand her.
And it's till now, so they're still going. They have gone through, so okay, I had it written here. So through the run, there's been 24 permanent co-hosts with contracted co-hosts ranging between 4 or 8 per season. It is currently in its 25th season. It features a multi-generational panel discussing a variety of topics and interviewing guests. The original panel was Barbara Walters, Meredith Vieira, Star Jones, Debbie Metnopoulos, and Joy Behar. And then the current,
I gotta watch my Joy Behar,
my Joy Behar,
my Joy Behar.
And the current
lineup, back on Behar's not over,
right? She's still there. She's in the current lineup, the longest. The current lineup is Joy Behar, so she's been there from the beginning, and she is actually the longest, I guess, running host. Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, Sarah Haynes, Alyssa Farah Griffin, and Anna Navarro. And I feel like I knew none of those other names other than Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg when I was looking at this. And I'm like, off the top of my head, I didn't recognize any of those names. I'm sure if I saw their faces, I might, but and I remember Raven was a host on it for a bit as well, too. I thought she was still a host, but I guess she wasn't recently.
And what's her nuts? John McClane's daughter.
Oh,
that kept Megan. Is it Megan?
I think so.
That kept like just so much controversy, like so fucking much. I would see like stuff about her on Facebook all the fucking time about another fucking episode that she would fucking say stupid shit on.
Meghan
McCain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, McClain is fucking diehard. McCain. Sorry, one letter. I was off by one.
You're off by one letter. Take a drink. Oh, yeah, and like I said, Elizabeth Hasselbeck was also so annoying. I love.
Oh my god.
They always used to make fun of her on Saturday Night Live. I remember that.
Oh my god, yes. I remember that.
The worst.
She's the absolute worst. Yep.
And then I guess the last one to really know, there are some that were just kind of like couple seasons or not barely even lasted, but the next one that kind of lasted a little longer was Tyra Banks' show.
Oh, yep.
This one me and Danielle did enjoy.
We watched it a few times. I wasn't like,
no,
like
me and Danielle,
because I think
we're into it. We loved it.
I think like I got my fair share of Tyra through like the America's Next Top Model episodes. I didn't really need to see her talk show. I saw a few episodes. But
I think I liked her talk show because she kind of talked about some more, like it was more teeny based, like teen or like 20 somethings based. So it was talking about like things that you would actually, our problems we would deal with. And yeah, she did bring on like the top model, like contestants from time to time and things like that. And obviously she'd put it at. But there was also her infamous "Kiss My Black Ass" speech when because they found a photo of her at the beach where it was an unflattering angle, put in a tabloid.
Cellulite.
And she had cellulite.
Oh my God.
God forbid.
Dare she?
God forbid, she's a human and has cellulite. And so
I was like, I remember reading about that or seeing it. I was just like, yes, girl.
And so she got on her show and basically was like, look, we are allowed to be women. We are allowed to have this. Like, when I started my modeling, I was 15 years old. There's nothing on me. I am now a woman. Of course I have fucking cellulite. And then the infamous "Kiss My Black Ass" speech is what she said.
But then yet
or fat ass, sorry.
She is the one on America's Next Top Model telling someone who weighs 115 pounds that she's overweight. I just thought I needed to throw that in there.
You're not wrong.
I'm just saying there are two sides to every coin of that. So
it's true. You are not wrong. You are not wrong.
Anyway, next one.
Yeah. So I think that one, 2005 to 2010 was Tyra Banks.
Yep.
So a couple other random little ones that lasted. So we had Queen Latifah had her own daytime talk show.
Watched that a few times. Yep.
99 to 2001. And then again from 2013 to 2015.
I watched the earlier one. Did not know she'd put it on again. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it was on a different channel, like one of the cable channels later or something.
Mm-hmm.
On Air with Ryan Seacrest was from January to September 2004. So it only lasted like 9 months.
Never heard of it.
I did watch this one a couple of times. It's the same as his radio show. It started at the same time. So I guess they were sort of trying to maybe mix the two together. It was right around like kind of that peak.
Trying to milk that cow for all it's worth.
Right. So on this one, he interviewed guests.
Every last drop.
Right. Interviewed guests, just like kind of everything else. It was in like a studio that was overlooking, I think, like Sunset Strip or Hollywood Boulevard or something like that.
Some sort of probably fake background.
Yeah. And then he capitalized on, well, no, he was in California, so it's probably possibly legit, but they capitalized on the Idol announcer duties. So they would bring like Idol contestants.
Vegas is not in California, right? Or did you say Sunset? You said Sunset Strip, didn't you?
Yeah, I said Sunset Strip.
Sorry.
I was like, wait, what?
I was like, wait a second. No, that's not what she said.
Drink. Anyways,
you are welcome, guys.
You're gonna be drunk by the end of this episode, guys. We swear, we promise.
I swear there is not alcohol in this.
Yeah, we're not even drinking it all. It's 10 o'clock. We haven't even had.
It's 10:30 in the morning. I've had chocolate already, but I have not had alcohol.
Right? Exactly. I know. Same here. I've had a Starbucks pumpkin scone, which is basically all sugar.
I just polished off my bag of chocolate covered raisins.
Yes. We're adults, guys. We're adults. We're allowed to eat what we want for breakfast.
If I want to have ice cream for breakfast, I'm going to fucking have ice cream for breakfast.
Ice cream for fucking breakfast. But yeah, so he basically capitalized on his duties. Now his radio show is still going.
Yeah.
And he's
still a staple in the industry. Yeah.
Right. He was on Live with Kelly and Ryan.
Yep.
So he became a co-host on the morning
host
show.
For American Idol. And
the morning show better fit him than this one, I think so he did go somewhere. So even though this one only lasted a couple months, he's not hurting, guys. He's not hurting. Let's be real.
Yeah, he's still doing pretty good.
Right. Then we had the Megan Mullally show from September 06 to 07.
I love Megan Mullally.
Again, it didn't last too long. I'm not sure why.
It's a damn shame because it was such a good show.
Yeah, I don't know if people just didn't quite understand her because it was post Will and Grace, just after it had ended.
Yeah.
So I don't know if some people just were still taking her as that annoying girl from that show or things like, so maybe some people didn't quite translate. My
favorite character from that show, made that show.
Yes,
her and
absolutely.
Jack's relationship. Oh my God.
But I could understand some people might not like her. People might think she's
I totally get that. It's
right.
It's the same with Fran Drescher on The Nanny.
Yes.
Some people have an issue with her voice and
Chandler
Janice.
God.
Maggie Wheeler. Wheeler. I finally watched the reunion, by the way.
Oh, nice.
And I finally watched the Hogwarts reunion as well.
Oh, good.
I think Emma Watson and Tom Felton just need to fall in love and get married already. Just saying. But that's my opinion.
They're so cute.
Aren't they?
So cute.
Anyway, talk shows.
So except Megan Mullally. And then lastly, we had the Sharon Osbourne show. From 03 to 04, it was canceled for low ratings. Some said that she had too much focus on her family because it was at the time that the Osbournes were kind of out where their TV show was out and things like that. People I think were just getting oversaturated with the whole family and shit.
Yeah, because I think Kelly Osbourne had started her singing career by that point.
Yeah, it was just
Jack, I think, was starting his weight loss reality show. Possibly. Or not reality. I think it was a documentary.
Well, because he also maybe not this time, because he was also in the Olsen Twins New York Minute, which I think might have been around this time as well, and he wasn't fully on his weight loss journey completely at that time. So it was close. Anyways,
he has a Bigfoot show now.
People were just oversaturated with the Osbournes, and you don't blame
with Jason Mewes.
Weird.
Jason Mewes and Jack Osbourne go Bigfoot hunting.
Alrighty.
It's on Discovery Plus. Just saying.
She then had a season in UK for 2006 for 1 year. So she ran in US and then in the UK. But again, people I guess were just oversaturated with the Osbournes. So
yeah,
kind of lost faith.
Which happened in that time era. Like you got oversaturated with everybody.
Paris Hilton.
I was literally just gonna say Paris, Lindsay, right? Everyone, you just Britney, you were bombarded with their images, and
because the problem is this is also the very beginning of the internet TMZ tabloid Perez
information
Hilton era.
Shoved in your face kind of thing.
The online tabloid era went fucking crazy.
It was fucking overwhelming. Like how many tabloids existed, and now look at how many there are. Ugh. Like there's not very many left, and I'm not paying fucking $7 for a magazine that has 8 fucking pages in it.
And it's all fake news anyways, and I can find it on fucking Facebook. The same
I used to buy them specifically $1.99
for Us Weekly and Life and Style, I think it was.
Yep.
Those were the two.
I would buy them for like the crosswords and the match these two pictures and circle what's different.
The games at the back,
word searches. Yeah, they had activities at the back of the book, and I love the fucking crosswords.
And don't tell us to go buy a crossword activity book because they were not the same, because they didn't have the same.
I do buy those.
They don't have the topics because those were all pop culture related crosswords. But when I buy like one at the store, it's not related. It's not pop culture related. So.
I found like when I was working at Giant Tiger, we get like the big puzzle books in and like the little ones too. And a couple different ones of celebrity crosswords came in. And so I bought like all of them, which was like, there was like 2, and I finished them in like fucking no time.
Right.
And now I can't find any more that are not exactly the same as those. It's like, those are the only 2 in print apparently.
Right. Exactly. So those are made ones. So just a couple of little noted ones, just because they were Canadian-based shows that we kind of watched. So we can't not discount our Canadian
I watched
talk
this one
shows.
all the time.
Jonavision on CBC.
This one was great.
Jonathan Torrens had his own talk show. It ran from 96 to 2001. And basically, this was the first time after that, like the Degrassi, like he had basically the first Degrassi reunion on everybody.
Like I think everybody showed up, didn't they?
And so basically, I think so. I think there might be 1 or 2 that might not have been able to make it.
Maybe. The main people were there.
The main people were there, and then basically that was kind of the catalyst for the future of Degrassi, the next generation. Because without that reunion, I don't think
we would have Degrassi
right now, because it was only playing on Showcase, and not a lot of people really watched those reruns on Showcase for the old Degrassi, like junior high and Degrassi at like high school. And yeah, this was definitely the catalyst for sure, I think, for the Degrassi that we have now. Yeah. Without Jonathan Torrens, we would not have Drake. Even though I don't like him.
Oh yeah.
Not have him.
Yeah.
Like
everybody wants something, they'll never give up. They'll take your money and never give up. Good old Zit Remedy.
But you know what? That song is still relevant nowadays. It really is. There's the Canadian relevancy. Yes.
And Carrie's the only one who is like within my age range. She's like 4 years older than me. And then our next set of friends are like 10 years younger than me. So she's around in my age range. We started singing in that song yesterday and nobody knew what we were fucking talking about.
Your sad parents not teaching you proper education.
Funny. So funny.
Yeah. So the other thing we would do in Canada as well is we had the Much Music VJs on in the afternoon. I think they basically started from like 4 till 6.
They were like their own talk show.
They ran from 4 till 6, and basically they were on there, and most of the time they were talking out of their asses of basically like whether like, you know, what pop culture event might be happening in the moment. If they got a letter requested, they'd show like the cool pictures or things. Like it was just, they talked about everything during those times
because they had much
videos.
They had much RSVP, right? So like a lot of the time they would have like a celebrity or guest or artist on to help like read the letters and things like that. and I'm not embarrassed about it, but I sent one in too. It was like this big long, like I taped together pages and made it like a big long banner.
Nice.
And yeah,
I think we all sent something in. I think we just did a letter or something. I can't remember, but yeah, it was Much Music after school. Like we would have it on for hours.
Yeah, it eventually became Much on Demand, I think, wasn't it? It changed it from Much RSVP to Much on Demand.
Yeah, but then there was also just like the straight up like video flow for 2 hours where the VJs were just playing videos and then talking in between as well. Yeah. So those, and then the countdown would be Fridays at 6. I remember that. And that was kind of how our weeks would go. Yeah.
And then a lot of times like Friday, or Saturdays, like they would have musical artists in, shut down Queen Street. Like
the intimate and interactives.
Yeah, interactives. I remember what they were called.
Or like when they would have or even Electric Circus on Friday nights, sometimes they would have an artist in and they would kind of have to shut down the corner and stuff. Queen and John.
Yep.
Down that corner.
Yep.
The Chum City building. And then lastly, I think it was kind of late past ours, but I had to mention it just because Dan Levy was amazing. MTV Live ran from 2006 to 2012. So kind of the same thing where it was just a talk show where they talked about celebrities and had guests on and interviews. And like I said, Dan Levy was one of the hosts because,
go Dan Levy. Woo, shout out.
Woohoo. And love Schitt's Creek. So good. And then Eugene Levy, like, come on.
Eugene Levy's a staple. You'd have no 90s without Eugene Levy.
Right? No 90s amazingness without Eugene Levy. Oh, and then also this
best movie dad ever.
This was MTV Live was the jumping point of the Be Were My Balls as well. If you remember those.
It was. Yes, I remember your bright orange shirt.
Yep. They were giving those shirts away and then I just got one made for myself.
I
was like, fuck that. I'm not going to go to MTV Live and do it. I'll just get mine because then mine will be even cooler. And it was orange. Cooler. It was orange.
Orange. So right, now on to our next topic. So
I guess that would be it for the daytime talk shows we kind of ran home and watched. So now for those moments where if we maybe got home early or if we were a little sick in the afternoons,
what we would watch during the day,
catching some of those soap opera melodrama, drama. So for those who kind of don't know, the term soap opera came from radio dramas being sponsored by soap manufacturers in like the early 1900s. In the 70s, though, they had up to 19 different soap operas airing in 1 year. And one crucial element that defines a soap opera is the open-ended serial nature of the narrative with stories spanning over several episodes. Yeah. Because we all know that
keep you coming back for more.
You could have one storyline. You could be like, the baby is... And that drama will last for a whole entire week, and you will not find out who the baby is until the following Monday. Like who the baby daddy is. Like that is how
5 episodes, guys. Like 5 episodes on Monday to Friday.
An hour too. Ththese were 30-minute 5
hours a week, and you didn't find out until like the next fucking week. And sometimes not even on the Monday. You'd wait until like the fucking Wednesday or Thursday.
Right.
They knew how to fucking make things drama. Suspenseful.
Now, also, the other thing is they had a cast of like 50 characters. So
so
sometimes you wouldn't
break off the storylines.
And you wouldn't see a character for maybe an episode, so they could break off the storyline a little bit. Soap operas were
the world of soap opera is just dramatic.
Just crazy.
So dramatic.
So to say just as of right now, so in the 2020s, so like I said, at one point there was 19 different soaps airing at one time, like in 1 year.
I believe it.
Now in 2020, we only have 4 soap operas left. 4 soap operas left.
Yep.
Out of 19 airing in a day, guys.
And one of those is Days of Our Lives, which happens to be ending very soon.
6 days actually. Apparently it's supposed to end September 9th. So actually by the time this is posted, it may be the last day, I think.
Side note, I'm pretty sure that's the same day that the 5th season of Cobra Kai comes out.
I think it is too. Or is it the 8th? The 8th or the 9th I saw.
Something like that.
But yeah, so it ends actually the day this is released. So for those of you who are listening to this, RIP Days of Our Lives. Today is the last day.
I would say Days of Our Lives was probably one of like the top, like one of the top 3 most popular soap operas, like next to General Hospital and like Young and the Restless. but it was not one that I watched.
I did not watch it either. Now for this one, it started in 1965 on NBC and it took place in Salem following the Brady and the Horton families.
Yeah.
So I did
watch some of it, but like I got into it one time, but
being Salem. I remember that. Like that's the only thing I kind of remember about this.
I remember Sammy, like Alison Sweeney's character.
Oh, okay. Alison Sweeney. Okay, yes.
I remember her. And isn't that the same soap with the famous Laura and
Luke and Laura? No, that's General.
Laura, that's General.
General Hospital. That's General. I know that was the one I watched because Jonathan Jackson was on it, and I had a crush on Lucky Spencer. So General Hospital. I know Luke and Laura very well. Yeah, Alison Sweeney, Deirdre Hall. Yeah, I don't recognize many other people on that one. For Days of Our Lives. So the next we had All My Children.
This one was one of mine and my mom's. Every day, 1 o'clock, like she had she got my dad to set the VCR. And every day when we come home from school, that was the first thing we did. We popped in the tape and we would, or rewind the tape, I guess, and we'd watch that day's episode. Yeah. Or we'd save them all for the weekend. We would binge them on a Saturday.
The original binges. Binges. There you go.
And I loved this. So this one, Sarah Michelle Gellar was in this.
Yeah. So this one ran from 1970 to 2013. It was on ABC and then it went to Hulu for its last season because some of these went to the streamings. This was set in Pine Valley, Pennsylvania, and has the ever famous Susan Lucci as Erica Kane.
And it took so long for her to get her Emmy, like 20 fucking years. She finally got it though. She finally got it.
But basically, like right before she was going to retire, it seemed like, so it was almost like a mercy kind of type thing. Like, well, you're retiring, so I guess we have to finally.
Whatever, she fucking deserved it. Who cares?
No, I think she absolutely. But it's just one of those things where it's like you pander. Like, why didn't?
Yeah, why wouldn't they give it to her earlier?
It would almost be like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't even want your Emmy.
Yeah, I would have been like, nope.
Given it. Yeah. I would have literally just dropped it and been like, fuck you.
I don't need your pity, Emmy.
I don't need your pity. I did this and I deserved everything I got for it before then. You know.
Something I forgot to mention during our other boy band episode was that O-Town was on an episode of All My Children. And Erica Kane tried to set her daughter Bianca up with, I think, Ashley Angel.
Of course.
He asked her out or something like that or whatever. And at like at her birthday party, like she's turning 21 or something like that. And that's the moment she decided to come out to her mother. And she was also in the episode for All or Nothing.
That's funny.
Bianca was, not Susan Lucci. But I definitely like, that's one of my biggest.
That's funny that that's like the episode. And that's the one that you remember.
I also like the character I remember most, other than like Erica Kane and Dimitri, is Ted and Tad, the twins.
Ted and Tad.
And their girl,
why people do
Dixie,
that to
and their girl Dixie, who played them against each other.
I don't understand why people do that to their twins. Why do you name them like matching names? And like that's terrible to do to your twins. Terrible.
So then Ted and Dixie got married and they were on their way to the honeymoon and it was raining really bad and they drove off a bridge and Dixie survived, but Ted died. And so Tad,
brother and sister?
No, Ted and Tad. We're fighting over Dixie.
Fighting over Dixie. Okay, they're both okay, sorry.
I'm pretty sure it was Ted and Dixie that got married. And then when they crashed or whatever, Tad found them. Ted was dead, and Tad found Dixie, but she had amnesia. But she thought she thought he was Ted. So he pretended to be Ted for seasons. And then you didn't as a viewer, you didn't know this. And then the reveal happened, and I remember me and my mom were just like, how the fuck did we miss that? What? Oh my God, he's dead. What? Like, oh God, it was so dramatic. It was hilarious.
It's funny because of course
it's one of my biggest memories.
Of course she had amnesia. They always fucking have amnesia. Always.
Yeah, or he convinced her somehow that she was originally with Tad, and Tad was the dead one and he was Ted, or Tad ran off or something like that. Or I don't remember like exactly what happened, but I remember the reveal being like unfucking ridiculous. Like just like
Ted and Tad. I guess we will go back to Luke and Laura, which was, as we were talking about, was General Hospital. It started in 1963 and it's still going. It is the longest running soap in production, second longest to Guiding Light, longest running entertainment program on ABC. So it's an ABC soap. It celebrated 50th anniversary in 2013 and 15,000th episode on June 22nd, 2022. 15,000 episodes. Think about that, guys. 15,000.
Wow. That's redonkulous. That's
right.
That's a lot.
And it's set in the hospital in Port Charles, New York. And since the late 70s, it's centered around the Spencers and the Quartermains. There were some other families that were part of it, like before that, when it was in the 60s or whatever. But Luke and Laura Spencer are the main kind of, and the Quartermains are one of the main focuses. And like I said, I loved Lucky Spencer, who was Jonathan Jackson at first. Then later on, he got replaced by some other like blonde-haired pretty boy. And then I kind of was like, no, no.
So if you were to watch this consecutively, episode after episode, all 15,000 of them, it would take from start to finish exactly 625 days with no breaks.
Holy fuck.
15,000 hours is 625 days.
That's almost like, oh my gosh, like 2.5 full years almost. Or 2 years.
Yeah.
Almost something like that. Wow.
1.7 years.
Okay. Almost 2 years.
That's just over a year and a half.
That's ridiculous. Oh my God. Oh my God.
You put it in that perspective. Like, can you imagine if
without a break, like
if someone was alive today that still watches it and has watched every single episode from its beginning, that means they have spent 1.7 years of their life watching this show.
I mean, it could be possible because like I said, it started in 63. So any of the early boomers born in the mid to late 40s, early 50s could have watched every single episode of this.
Yep. So yeah.
Wow. Actually, in 2013, it celebrated its 50th. 2013. That means next year it is 60th anniversary.
6 decades.
60. Yep. Oh my fucking God, that is ridiculous, guys. Ridiculous. The only other soap I think that has beat it, like I said,
second longest. What was the longest?
Coronation Street has been going 62 years.
Good one.
62 years. It started in 1960.
I watched Coronation Street.
British soap opera on CBC, the current longest running TV soap.
I also watched EastEnders too.
Oh, I don't know if
EastEnders, like, I don't think it was necessarily a soap opera.
Yeah.
But it was like, it was an hour long, like, drama that was on in the afternoon. So I would classify it as a soap opera. Same with like Neighbors from Australia.
It was classified as an Australian soap opera.
I love foreign soap operas. Like,
Neighbors started in 1985 as an Australian soap opera. Yeah. I had that one listed on here. And then what do we have? One Life to Live.
Never watched it.
It was an ABC.
Like I couldn't even tell you anything about it.
I didn't either, but it had quite the cast on it though. So again, 1968 to 2013 was ABC, and then again ran on Hulu for the last season. Some of the past actors, like I said, was Hayden Panettiere, Kourtney Kardashian, Marsha Cross, Melissa Archer, and Melissa Fumero, and it focuses on the Lord family. So like I said, quite a few like people were on it. Early Kardashian, clearly.
You know who I don't see on this list for being in a soap opera? I think it's Days of Our Lives. Maybe One Life to Live. Jensen Ackles.
I think he was Days, if I remember correctly. I forgot. Oh. It's just because he's so supernatural now. That's what I remember. That's replaced his YNR Days. Let's be real. No.
Days of Our Lives.
Days of Our Lives.
It was Days of Our Lives.
Eric Brady.
Yes, Eric
earning
Brady.
him several Daytime Emmy Award nominations. And then he was also in Dark Angel. I loved that show.
Mm-hmm. Him and his wife are just beautiful. It's not fair how pretty they are. Like it really isn't.
Danielle Harris.
I love Danielle Harris.
I know.
Fucking love her.
I hate her, but I love her.
I just
the love to hate because you're so fucking beautiful.
Yep.
So I guess since we're talking about beautiful, the next one is Bold and the Beautiful.
Bold and the Beautiful. Something I never watched either.
But this one it was later one, 1987, and it's renewed to 2024. Mm-hmm. So it is one of the ones that are still online or on TV, I guess, not online. It's a CBS one.
Yep.
It's the sister show actually to Young and the Restless.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Some actors have crossed over as well. It is set in LA and it follows the Forrester family.
Ooh.
Yes.
I don't know anything about it because I never watched it.
I did not. I think my mom.
No celebrities that were in it that we know of.
Didn't list anything. No.
See anything? No. Okay.
My mom might have watched this one. I vaguely remember it, but I don't remember it.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. Next soap. What are we on?
So we have a couple of more left. But so these two actually. Okay. So these two look like they were kind of together. So first we have Guiding Light, which was 1952 to 2009. It was preceded with a radio show of the same name. So some of these soap operas were originally radio shows before they became
turned. Yeah.
So that was from 1937 until 1952.
Wow.
Right?
Was the radio show?
The radio show, 37 to 52. So it ran for almost 20 years on a radio show before it became a TV show. It was recorded the longest running soap in history of 72 years at the time.
Yeah.
From radio to TV, obviously. Yeah. And then it had a sister show that was As the World Turns from 1956 to 2010.
As the World Turns.
Right?
I remember that. I
remember that one. Yeah.
So these are the days of our lives.
Like sands through the hourglass.
Yes, that's it.
These are the days of our lives. Yes, we all remember that one. And then the next one we had was Another World. I remember my mom watching this one. I do remember my mom.
I loved this one. This one and all my children. It's what my mom and I watched all the time. This one was on at 2:00, right after all my children. So we were able to record both.
Yeah. It was
because they were on the same. I think they were on the same channel.
I think what was it?
Or we had them on, or we had two separate VCRs recording them if they weren't. But I remember we recorded both shows. And
ABC, NBC. So they were different channels, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. You did too. So it was from 1964 until 1999. Mm-hmm. NBC set in the town of Bay City. It was a before its time soap. I was kind of looking. They actually had an episode about abortion in 1964. They were the first soap to do a crossover, first soap to launch spin-offs, Somerset and Texas. They were one of the only soaps I think I saw that went from 60 minutes to 90 minutes at its like peak when everyone loved it, then back down to 60 minutes because obviously soaps kind of had that 60 minutes. And it had a theme song that charted on Billboard in 1987. Mm-hmm. How cool. Like, what other soap opera has a freaking theme song that charted, for crying out loud? Like, that's cool.
Also launched the career of 10-year-old Lindsay Lohan.
Yes. And Lindsay Lohan.
She played Allie Fowler. She was an illegitimate love child between two of the main characters. Yep. And I believe one of the final episodes, I think, of that I saw was when her mom on the show was brutally murdered in like this cave or something. Ooh. And all I can remember from it is that they found her body in this cave and she had written initials on a rock from like another rock. Because like how it creates like a chalk kind of thing. Yeah. So I can't remember what I think the initials were like MF or something. And they come or something like that. And then it come to find out like who was it? I want to say it was Cass, which is really shocking because Cass was like one of the main characters of the show, like a really beloved character for so long. But I think it turned out that he was like falsely accused or something. I don't remember like exactly what happened, but I remember Lindsay Lohan, like her character finding out that her mom was dead and her performance was spot on.
Wow.
Like she was a great child actor. She just kind of lost it later in life because of like,
her parents, not
the traumas and pressures of being a childhood star and all that stuff. Yeah.
And when your parents
her parents just being her parents.
Not being her friend versus actually trying to be parents in that kind of industry. Yeah. Unfortunately. It happens to
her as a cash cow.
Happens to the best of them, unfortunately.
So many momagers and dadagers do.
So many momagers. Anyways,
Dina Lohan, Gene Momager.
Right? Oh, I'm sure there's more before Dina Lohan for show.
Oh, I'm sure there was. I'm sure there was.
Right. So Young and the Restless, like I said, is one of the ones that is still on. So it ran from 1973 to now, still going.
to now.
Still going. It was a CBS centered in Genoa City, Wisconsin, which I found funny that they had a soap opera in Wisconsin, but whatever.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin. And it has the longest running feud between two characters, Jill Abbott and Catherine Chancellor, 4 decades now. Their feud has been going on. Must be some pretty damn good beef if it's 40 fucking decades.
I mean,
damn.
I don't really know what to say to that. It's
right?
a soap opera. Of course, there's going to be like a feud, for long-lasting feud.
But 40, like none of the other ones seem to have a 40-decade-long feud.
I feel like I need to mention how like soap operas are portrayed on shows and movies that are not soap operas.
Yes.
Where they're like, what's the one that like from fucking Grown Ups where it's like, we thought you were dead. He's like, you can't kill the Ronaldo. Like they're just so like just cheese, like over the top cheesy when they're being referenced to in other pop cultures.
Yeah, like they're like, you can't kill someone because they're gonna come back as their secret lover's boyfriend's son, or like just stupid, outlandish claims and like characterizations. It's just great. It's hilarious.
I feel like that's a really good segue into the next one. Yes. Because this next one was I firmly believe it was they were like, let's create a soap opera that embodies all the stereotypical,
because it was one of the newest of the soap operas ever made.
Yes.
So yeah, like you said, it seems like they tried to take
it crossed so many lines.
I had to stop watching and then come back sometimes, and then like I could stop watching this one for a month and the plot line did not develop.
Yeah. It stayed the same.
It was
the same shit all the time, but it was
fucking
still so
Teresa.
Addictive.
Oh my god, her storyline.
Ethan doesn't love you.
So we're talking about passions if you haven't figured it out yet. 1999 to 2008. It aired on NBC and then on the 101 network for DirecTV for the last season. Centered around multiracial families in Harmony, New England, with a supernatural element, Tabitha the Witch and her doll Timmy.
I'd also like to mention how annoying I found Charity and Miguel.
Oh my fucking god. Miguel later to be found on Desperate Housewives, but
Jesse Metcalf, yeah.
And John Tucker.
And how they had a different Whitney every season.
Yes, Whitney kept changing.
Like she was literally a different actress every fucking season.
Teresa and Ethan,
Teresa like fucking coming back from the dead.
Sheridan
and
Miguel. I don't know.
No, not Miguel. It wasn't Miguel. It was
it was Harmony. It was
Ernesto? No, I can picture him. I just can't remember what his character's name was.
I know.
Alejandro?
Hold on.
Because he was Miguel and Teresa's brother.
Yes, he was the older brother of them all.
Luis. Okay, it was Luis. Sorry.
Luis.
And Paloma, their mom.
Yep, the Cranes.
Right? She was just trying to like, be a single mom, raising her kids and supporting them. She was a maid for the Cranes, a rich family in town. Teresa was in love with their son Ethan, and she did everything impossible to get him into fucking bed.
With Justin Hartley as Fox Crane.
Yep.
And
Alistair,
yeah.
Never saw his face until I think the beginning of season 2, or maybe the end of season 1. You never saw his face.
However, there was a Miguel Lopez. There was a Miguel Lopez played by Gerardo Salasco.
Well, then what was Jesse's character?
Unless that's who replaced.
It's possible that's who replaced him.
I'm going through on here it doesn't even have Jesse Metcalf listed on this Google thing. Unacceptable, Google. Why isn't he on here? He was on it because
I did not imagine it. Like, it's not a Mandela effect. He was on it.
100% on there. This is just stupid. It's not IMDb though, so that's why it's the Google cast list or whatever. The Crane family ruled the town of Harmony from their mansion on Raven Hill. Yeah. That's what IMDb says.
Yeah. So Juliette Mills, who played Tabitha.
Yep.
She is married to Rex Manning from Empire Records.
Yes.
Max Caulfield.
Rexy, you're so sexy.
Max Caulfield. Gwen was super annoying. Ethan's like OG girlfriend from the first season, who like had no fucking clue that he was kind of fucking around on her with Teresa.
Yeah.
Eventually when that started happening.
Oh my gosh. And I have to say though, which is a little funny and said, I totally kind of had the Sheridan Crane haircut in like grade 10.
And then Julian and Ivy Crane, like Julian Crane and Ivy Winthrop, like Ethan's parents. Like she was so conniving and but she did a great job.
He played Miguel Lopez for 85 episodes, 99 to 04.
Yeah.
So yeah. So for the last 4 years, someone replaced him as Miguel.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay. Molly Stanton is Charity or Zombie Charity. Stupid Charity.
I hated Charity. I could not fucking stand her.
But yes, so Passions. That was like we said, it was the newest.
This had a super like this, and like there was magic.
Yeah, like, there was supernatural magic. Like Tabitha was a witch, and her doll.
It was such a fucked up soap opera.
Timmy was a doll that would like come to life, but not at the like. It was just so fucking out there. Like I said, zombie Charity died, but then came back to life or something. And then at one point, I think she was possessed or something.
So did fucking what's her face? So did Teresa.
There was just
like I remember them being at her funeral, and there was a fucking open casket, and Whitney like put her hand on her hand, and her hand twitched. And they were just like, oh no, that's just a death twitch. They happen when the body's starting to shut down and blah, blah, blah. When shouldn't that have already happened if she's already been embalmed?
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Okay. I'm sorry if this might be a trigger for some people, but I don't know.
How is she still coming to life?
Because she was given kind of like a poison like Juliet was in Shakespeare. But it was I don't know. But anyway,
embalming is taking all the shit out. Like
any person should be able to see the difference between an alive person that's sort of dead to a person that
actual is dead with their fluids
like
and
you
shit taken out.
You can see the difference. And like I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything. I know they're doing it just for TV, but like it's so fucking unrealistic. And and what really pissed me off about that scene was just how like mannerless that bedside table was, where he was just like, oh, it's just a death twitch. Like her best friend is laying there in a casket. You can't be a little bit more sympathetic about that?
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding? But then it turned out that she wasn't actually dead. She was given a thing to make her seem like she was dead, to make her heart slow down to the point that you couldn't detect her heartbeat, and she came back to life. And I don't remember why, but I remember that storyline. Oh, and then Tommy, the actual character or the actual person that played Tommy, Tabitha's doll, passed away. Timmy. He passed away. Chris
passed away.
Evans.
Josh Ryan Evans.
Yeah. So R.I.P. to him.
So like I said, that was kind of the newest one. There were some other kind of like random ones they tried to sort of spin off, but clearly never did anything.
Yeah.
There was one I saw that it was called Loving from 1983 to 1995.
Never heard of it.
Which it apparently had a spinoff called The City in 95 to 97.
Also never heard of it.
Sunset Beach from 97 to 99.
I think I've heard of it.
I feel like this one I vaguely remember.
I feel like I know this one.
Right. And then General Hospital had a spinoff called Port Charles from 97 to 03.
Heard of it, never watched it.
No. And then like we said earlier, there's only 4 left currently as we stand. Well, 3 as of today officially. Y&R, Bold and the Beautiful, and General Hospital are still going, but today, September 9th, if you're listening today, Days of Our Lives last episode.
Yeah.
So
yes, it is. End of an era.
Right.
It's only a matter of time before they're all gone.
Wait. Oh no, actually I feel like it's the last episode on NBC. I feel like
so it's not being canceled. It's just moving.
I think it's moving to Peacock.
That's cool.
Days of Our Lives to Peacock? Question mark?
Question mark?
Yes, Days of Our Lives moving to Peacock September 12th. So our apologies, people. Drink because we gave you wrong information.
Bad.
So September 9th is the last day. It'll be on TV on NBC. So if you want to watch it past that point, you have to get Peacock TV.
For those of you drinking along, how's your liver doing?
Yeah, how are you feeling? Are you drunk yet? Because I'm pretty sure we've got you drunk by the end of this episode. So yes, 4 soaps left. Y&R, Bold and the Beautiful, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives.
Yes.
So I feel like that's probably almost like one for almost each of the networks, it seems like.
Probably.
Because Y&R is CBS, Days of Our Lives would have been NBC. General Hospital is ABC, and Bold and the Beautiful CBS. So CBS still has 2, but yeah, that's basically one for all the major networks. Not a lot of stuff to watch, I guess, for the kids now when they're homesick. Well, they all have fucking Netflix and stuff like that, but
Price is Right is still on.
and again, they have Netflix. They don't watch TV.
And like several different streaming
So
services.
you know what?
Yeah.
This is actually kind of sad knowing that like on their days home or like running home from school, kids aren't going to have these like same kind of experiences of watching these soap operas or these with our moms, or watching these, you know, daytime talk shows with our favorite interviewers and stuff. Like I know Kelly Clarkson is on and there's still some that are replacing them, but like,
I mean, if they really wanted to, they could still watch them on YouTube.
Yes, this is true. Or some of these other,
because that's where I was watching them this morning. But yeah, like, but I mean, what kid nowadays wants to watch old episodes of that kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like there are options. Just I'm pretty sure most kids would just stay in their rooms on their laptops, tablets and phones,
and watch whatever shows they want on the streamings now instead of like that's what I mean. Like it was different times. Like you had to sort of like you watched it with your mom because she was home at like, or you know, like it was
with your chicken noodle soup, your crackers, your flat ginger ale,
right?
Yep.
And she would catch you up on the soap operas because, you know, she hadn't watched it in 2 months, but nothing had changed anyways in the last 2 months. She just had to watch the episode for a couple minutes just to make sure where they were. And then she would fill you in. Because that's how soaps were. It would take them forever to get through one storyline.
But man, yeah, they're a good way to just escape your life for an hour. They're good to watch because it makes you realize how uncomplicated your life actually is. And you just think it's complicated because you don't have that kind of drama to fucking compare it to.
Exactly.
So I mean, things could always be worse, guys. Count your blessings.
Just watch one of these soap operas and count your blessings. On that note,
is that our topic? Have we exhausted our topic?
I think we've exhausted all of the soap operas and daytime talk shows that we can.
If we missed anything or anything you guys would say are your favorite memories of what you might still watch or what you used to watch, like drop us a.
Is there is there a soap you still watch? Was there one of these that you loved watching? Was there one that we might have missed?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a soap opera in your country that we didn't? Because we didn't, like, clearly Australia and the UK had some. Maybe we missed some. Let us know. We would love to hear about these other options that you watched when you were at home sick.
Yes.
And we will have another episode of the morning talk shows to come. Don't you worry. We are not forgetting
the Ricky
about
Lakes,
those.
the Jenny Jones. We will be
those
talking about
Donahues, and don't worry, that is
the
coming.
Geraldos, the Montel Williams. We will be talking about that. Yeah.
So that is it for the afternoon talk shows and soaps. You can find us on the socials, Instagram, Facebook. I don't do much on TikTok, but we're on there, you know. And you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, kind of wherever you get your podcasts, and our website, millennialspod.com, on YouTube. And subscribe, tell your friends about us, you know, all of that fun stuff, because we'd love to
give us your love. We need applause to live.
Tinkerbell. We're like Tinkerbell. We need your applause to live, your stars, your reviews, your comments, please.
Your clicks, your likes, your thumbs up, skis.
Yeah, please. And all right. We'll catch you in the next episode.
Yeah, we will chat you on the next episode. You guys have a good one. See you later.
Bye.